Hey everybody, Chad Yoder here, one of the directors for Kuandaa International. I'm coming at you with another of our pre-trip training videos. This one, we're going to cover travel. Travel to Uganda takes a very long time, very long time. On average, especially when we're flying out of Indiana, you're looking at probably close to a whole day of travel. Our flights generally, when we get the good flights for a good price, are generally split in half. It's 8.5 hours to Amsterdam and 8.5 hours to Uganda from there. And so you're talking usually 17 hours in an airplane, and even the flights that are not through Amsterdam are still about 17 hours of flying. Now that's just straight flying time, so that does not include layover time, the time it takes to get to the airport, etc. So you need to plan for a long travel time. That's why we always recommend that you wear something comfortable for when you travel, because it's going to take some time. The other piece to traveling is your luggage, of course. On our flights, you'll get a carry-on bag, which is your carry-on size luggage. You'll get 2 checked bags, which can be basically any size. They just have to be under 50 pounds. They do it by weight. And then, of course, you'll get your like under the seat bag, which is usually a purse, a backpack, etc. Now, when you're traveling with us, we recommend a backpack because that's where you're gonna keep all of your important things when we're out in the field, is in your backpack. So things like your passport and any money, things like that, you want to keep it on you at all times. And so you're gonna keep those things in your backpack. And so what we recommend is that usually you should pack all of your items in your carry-on luggage and 1 checked bag, because generally speaking, your second checked bag is going to be filled with stuff that we're going to give away. Many of our trips we're giving away, I mean, you name it. We've had books, we've had school supplies, we've given away soccer balls. Soccer balls are very popular. Dolls for the girls. There's a lot of things that we give away, and so usually we fill the second checked bag with those type items. And so you're going to want to fill them with that. You're going to want to dress comfortable because it's a long, long trip. And otherwise, when you travel, especially if you're new to travel, you'll want to know that lines in the airport are long. So before you get in one, go to the bathroom. And so you never know quite how long that line's going to be. And so especially when you're getting ready for it to get on a flight and when you get home, it's good to go to the restroom on the plane before we land, because it could be quite some time that you're standing in the customs line. So there's that piece. Now, when you travel with us, all of your travel expenses are covered in your trip fee. So that means generally speaking, if you're riding with us, so your ride to the airport, your food while we're in transit, which usually most of our flights put us in Europe somewhere around breakfast time. And so we'll cover those. And then when we get to the country, you'll also have a stumbling for my word. You'll also have a customs card you'll have to fill out, and and so you'll tell them everything that you're bringing with you. Usually there's like certain stuff you have to declare under a certain amount. I believe it's like $10,000. So for most of you, hopefully, my goodness, do not bring stuff worth more than $10,000 on a long-term trip to Africa. But for most of you, you're going to fill out no on a lot of those things and just let them know that you don't have anything to declare or anything like that. But you do have to fill the form out. Okay, and then when we get to the country, you'll use some of your trip money, which we kind of return to you, but you'll use $100 and you'll buy your visa in country. You do not need a visa beforehand. You'll get it there in the airport when you arrive, and you just go up to the desk. You give them your passport. You get to scan your fingerprints on the little machine. They take your $100. They give you a giant stamp on one of your pages, and you call it good. So it's very good. You will want to make sure that you tell them when they ask what you're there for. Just tell them humanitarian work, because that's what we're doing. So you tell them that's your purpose for visiting, and otherwise the trip should be pretty smooth. Because we travel together, you should be with the team for the most part, and once we get there, travel is done via a van. Now they have 15 passenger vans, 14 passenger vans actually. They have 14 passenger vans, but they are the size of minivans, and they fit 14 people in them. So just be prepared. You're going to be up close and personal with your teammates in those vans. All right, and so that'll include us and our Ugandan leaders, trainers, translators, etc. And so we'll travel in the vans for the most part. We'll do a little bit of walking, so you make sure that you're ready for that piece as well. And otherwise, the travel piece is pretty simple. You'll definitely want to spend some time sleeping on the plane if possible, because our flights arrive late at night in Uganda, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you'll have already been traveling for a day at that point, so you're going to be tired. So you want to get some sleep in if possible. And then we usually start like that very next day. All right, so when we get in country, it's a couple hour drive to the hotel, and then we start training the very next day. And so it's kind of intensive, but it's still a great trip. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. So the travel piece is very simple, right? Lots of flying, dress comfortable, make sure you keep all your stuff on you, your passport, etc., because you'll need those. Your passports and your plane tickets you'll need quite often, every time you're going through a new airport, basically. So keep those with you. And then when we're in country, they'll all be vans, and then on our way home, we'll be very similar. Occasionally, we do have a friend that lives in Amsterdam, so occasionally if our layover in Amsterdam is long, we will actually leave the airport. We'll put check our bags into a locker, and then leave the airport and go tour Amsterdam for a couple of hours with our friend Martin. So that might happen, it might not, but just so you know, it's a possibility, which is always kind of a fun break from sitting in airplanes for so long. Now, a lot of places will tell you when you're in the airplanes to do these little foot exercises and stuff to keep your blood flowing. That's totally up to you. I just recommend that you just get up and walk around a little bit. I have done a full 8.5 hour flight without getting out of my seat once, and to be fair, I slept for about 6 of those hours. But it does leave your legs feeling a little shaky afterwards. And so make sure you get up, do some moving, especially if you've never done a lot of traveling before and you're not used to that. You'll want to do that. Otherwise, I think other than just noting that you keep your valuables with you, or at least in the team van at all times, and then when you're in hotels and things, you're going to want to make sure that you keep your valuables like locked in your room. You'll find that most of your hotel rooms only have one key, and it's the one they give you. And so at the end of the day, or when you leave for the day, they're going to ask you to turn your key in so they can clean your room. You can do that. We've never had issues in the hotels we've stayed in, especially because most of our travelers take their iPads and their phones and stuff with them into the field anyway. So you put them in your backpack, leave them in the van, and in the van at the training place where we're at, they're safe. So otherwise, I think that covers it all for travel. If you've got any other travel questions, write them down and bring them with you to our in-person meeting. And if not, if you can't make it to that, write them down and email them to us, text us, whatever you want to do. Get a hold of me or Dewey, and we'll answer any travel-related questions that I may have missed in this video. So yeah, it's going to be fun.